Oh god, why? So in a viral Twitter post, these protesters are walking the street, and a car comes up, and she steps on the gas, almost running over. Just kidding. She goes at around 1 mile per hour, and pushes people off her car who are hitting on her window on her car, which is vandalism. But they didn't damage any property. Well, guess what? That's not what the law states, and vandalism is a criminal offense. So, yeah. So, when the cops arrive, they don't arrest her because she wasn't, driving on the sidewalk. She was in the street. You can't protest in the street unless you get proper clearance, because otherwise it's a safety risk. You would have to shut down a major street all of a sudden with no warning to people who needed to use the street for resources. So if you shut down a street, you're going to have to check with the government. Otherwise, you're disturbing the peace, which is a crime. So that's why you can't just say on a Twitter message, you can't just say, okay, here, we're going to go block a major highway on the 21st of January, whatever. You can't just do that because that's disturbing the peace. So, yeah. But the Twitter video continues with, it basically continues with the police going on, and the car goes. But over to Portland, because why the hell not? Tonight, Portland police were near Lonsdale Square, and a person pointed out a bag. Inside the bag, police found loaded rifle magazines and Molotov cocktails. Oh, God. Oh, guess what? If those magazines come back to a person who doesn't have basically a on-person carrying license, and well, guess what? They're going to be arrested for a felony, which assaulting an officer already is, but a federal felony, as in no parole and no bail. So, hope they find the person. And in an arrest video, they arrest a person in tear gas. Police brutality. It's not like if you were to move someone, guess what? If you are complacent with someone, they can use that against you. If you are moving someone, guess what? They can break against you. But if you just keep them on the spot where they are stopped, guess what? They can't move. And if you have two or more federal boys, they're not gonna get away. So that's why basically the police just went, yeah, you're not moving. And also, tear gas sucks, but it's not the concentrated hand. Actually, is it the concentrated hand held stuff? It could be, but I doubt it. Okay, and there's a video linked. So basically, he's taken through the tear gas, but it's still kind of in the tear gas. He kicks the officer's back of, not the officer. The officer kicks the back of the knee, which puts him to the ground, and arrests him. Or maybe he doesn't. More details after. And then he is poked with a baton, not very violently, in the side to make him, squirm into a position that the federal boys want. So yeah. What's so awful about that? Oh, he was hitting him with a baton. If you could see in the video, which you can't, the police couldn't see anything. As in, the police couldn't, the police were still, the guy was still squirming as an indication without handcuffs. Or he did have handcuffs on it, but even then he was resisting arrest and trying to escape. So, baton strikes, necessary or not necessary. Necessary in both situations. But But you're saying, well, it was insane. Why did they have to do that? Well, police don't just tear gas peaceful protesters. So if you want some absolutely amazing cringe about protests, just go on at 7. And if you watch the streams, peaceful protests, cops don't do anything. And when they've determined it to be a riot, they make a large statement saying, leave the area if in the next 5 minutes or something. If not, you may be sent. You may be experiencing to chemical weapons or tear gas, as it's known. But tear gas is a chemical weapon, and percussion devices. Basically saying, hey, stay any longer, and you're gonna or physical strikes. That's what they say. It basically saying, hey, if you stay, you're going to get hit by a baton, get tear gassed, and possibly get shot with rubber bullets and or those little exploding tear gas grenades. And you can find a video where the protesters use a firework as an IED, as an improvised explosive device used to try to kill, injure, or disorient federal police protecting a federal courthouse. These are not peaceful protests, these are full-on riots. Throwing a firework is not a peaceful protest. Throwing a firework is dangerous. That is an explosive device. It can also start fires. Fireworks are not very safe, although they do make cool colors in the sky. And then they're blinding officers with high-powered green lasers as in light-emitted radiation. Do you have any idea what it takes to make a laser? It takes a lot of energy. Now, some lasers are not that effective, but you're saying, well, make it just trying to be temporarily blind. No, whatever. You know why I know this? Because 3 federal officers have had permanent visual damage, as in they blinded them. As in they blinded them partially or completely. So, yeah, these are pretty strong lasers. So now let's go do some live commentary on the woke.net people. So, basically, you know what Stalin's hat looked like? You know how they were communist? Well, they're wearing the same hats, and they're talking about how to end America and defund the police, basically trying to start a revolution. So then we have this other point, basically of them hurtling around. Nobody is being violent, and there's no tear gas. Understand? But as soon as it gets violent, there will be guns. Oh, also there's been shown so they're also blocking up traffic. So there's a ton of cars. So I'm gonna guess the police are gonna move in real quick. But as soon as that happens, I'll tell you. So yeah. Okay, I'm not actually going to go show you because it's actually just a big blah blah blah. We matter. Blah blah blah. Yeah, you do matter. Guess what? You all have the right to vote. You are all citizens. You all have all the rights in the Bill of Rights. You have the right to vote. You have the right to privacy. You cannot have unfair and unjust bails. There are no cruel and unusual punishments that are laid out to you. And with that, goodbye.